Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving the reasonings for the last 10 songs that I released for my top 100. And I do know that it's been a long while since I've done one of these. I think it was like a month interval in between the last reasonings video and this one. And to be honest, I was considering suspending the series just because it hasn't gotten a whole lot of reception, if you know what I'm saying. But I decided that it wouldn't do it justice if I didn't put it all the way through. Not to mention, I believe there's only 3 more episodes after this one, so we're really getting close to the end game here. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. Anyways, let's just jump right into the reasonings. At number 40, we have 8889 by Eminence. This is one of their multiple tracks with like numbers in the title, but this one made it on the list specifically because I just love that melody. The melody is so, it is kind of somber, but it's also kind of progressive if you get what I'm saying. Like, it's talking about like there's a future ahead, and it's such a captivating melody, but also like a really sad one at the same time too. And the production just kind of helps to bring it out in a really chill way, but in a way that still emphasizes the importance of that melody. So that's really the reason why it got on this so high on this list, is because I just love that melody so much. Alright, coming up next, number 39, Tremontane, hopefully I pronounced that right, by Boxplot. So, for this one, first of all, the drums on here are bombastic. Like, they might honestly be the best drums on this whole list. They're just so wild and pack so much energy, and really the way that this song progresses is kind of masterful. It starts off with like the just relax, like a really chill intro, and then it goes right into double time with all the kicks going through and the melody playing, and it's like you've got all this energy like bundled up inside, and then once it goes into that drum and bass section and the drums let loose, it's like you're finally kind of letting that all out. So the amount of like energy and excitement that's packed within this song really shows. Not to mention the melody is impeccable, and there's so much attention to detail in this track that, it's kind of impossible not to love it. It's done in such a way where it gives you so much energy, and it just shows you kind of like letting it all out, which is a very, very neat concept and executed perfectly by Boxplot. Alright, next up we have The Calling by The Fat Rat featuring Laura Brem. And I'd actually tried to make a top list in 2017 or something, and this was my number 1. And obviously it's fallen off a little bit, but I still like it almost as much as I did before. The melody is so captivating, and the little vocal chops and the glitches there are really cool. The vocals are great. Even though it's not necessarily like super emotional, it is kind of in a way with that melody and the lyrics and all of that, but it's also like a kind of fun track, and it's really neat to see all the little things that the Fat Rat does in here. So really great track. That's The Calling. Following it is one I'm sure many of you guys have heard already, Demons by Imagine Dragons, and this one is just a huge nostalgia trip for me. Not to mention the part that I played in the video has a whole ton of impact. And of course, this guy's vocals are great. They've been doing this for so long. I think it's really that nostalgia that brings it the extra mile, letting it be in the top 40 of this list. Moving on, we have The Pressure by Stonebank, and this is another one that's absolutely carried by nostalgia. I remember listening to this song tons of times, years ago. And even if the vocals are only alright, it's the melody and the nostalgia, like I mentioned, but also a whole ton of energy that bring this all the way. Because, with this kind of style of music, this kind of hardcore style, you've got a whole lot of energy going on in here. So that's definitely another big portion of it. Next up, we have Sight of Your Soul by Dirty Phonics and Sullivan King. And even though I'm not too much a fan of most of these guys' work, this one is fantastic. The melodic rock type vocals really give this kind of like a feel from like early 2000s kind of rock. Not to mention that both of the drops have so much energy, and the melody is really catchy, so it's a beautiful blend of styles that is certainly not something I would have expected either of these artists to release. So it was definitely a very welcome and pleasant surprise. Following it is Walk Through Fire by Vice Tone. And this one's kind of an oddball on the list, because while most of these are like impactful or emotional or, just chill, this one's just a fun song. And honestly, I can't really explain why I like it so much, but it is just a fun and happy and upbeat song. And somehow it ended up on this list. But like, this is definitely one of those that I can explain why I like it, but it's hard to explain why I find it to be the caliber that I would put on this list. So I guess it is kind of a bit of a guilty pleasure, but really nice song, catchy melody, Walk Through Fire. Next up is Crystal Clear, and while the production is kind of basic and minimal, it really just gives room for the vocals, which are the kind of like the capturing piece of this track. Beautiful vocals and lyrics on this track, and that's really what brings it to this list, is that it's so memorable. It is just really like a wonderful and captivating track. Following it is Willow's Theme by Shock One. This track is, you heard in probably the video like how chill it is and how ambient it is, but you might have noticed that it has the vocals from Silver and Gold, because this is actually on that same album. And the interesting thing that Shock One does is he gives a callback to this track, and that kind of use of that is really one of the reasons why I enjoy this one so much, because sure, it has beautiful vocals and lovely production, but the fact that he was able to call back this track from earlier in the album and kind of use it to close it off, I think was just masterfully done. And it's certainly one of the reasons why I enjoy this track so much. And then finally, the last song of the video was Coven, Do You, that's number 31. Fantastic vocals from Coven. Not only are the vocals great, but the drop has a whole ton of energy, and the melody is super emotional. This is definitely one of the most emotional songs that they have done, and all of it just works so well together to create a very enticing final piece. So that is number 31. I hope you enjoyed these reasonings, and as always, I will see you all next time.